I love normalcy. And the one thing I have found myself having here in New York City is that. You kind of get lost in the shuffle. Here right now, I would call this home. There's so much this place has to offer. There's so much more to life than what I had before, which was just totally surrounded by football.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You gonna be a football player when you grow up?
Today is the best day of your life. Believe
Give me 8 years of daylight. That's all.
Greatest leader I've ever known.
What a ride it's been.
You get where you feel like you can rush the quarterback. You understand? Rush the quarterback.
Love Central Park. To me, it's just a wonder of the world. You look at the high rises, the multitude of buildings, of people, and yet in the middle of this, one of the largest cities in the world, you have this park. You kind of can embrace all the things going around you and the hustle and bustle, and you can go there and it slows down.
For Bill Cowher, life today is the calm after the storm. His 15 seasons as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers were brimming with passion and intensity.
You want emotion? Watch his football team play football for 60 minutes. Hey. We'll show you emotion. Yeah! 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 Good job! Let's go! Good coverage! That's what I'm talking about right now!
Some coaches do certain things, and he does this for the camera. None of that he did for the camera. Everything he did was authentic as it get.
He almost came on the field for the tackle.
Someone's got to tell him he's not a player. He cannot be on the football field.
And here comes Cowher on a dead run from McCarter.
Get him, Cowher! Get him, man!
And he's out there, sticking the photo in his face. Say, here, take a look. He won't take a look.
He shoved it in his pocket. He shoved it into McCarter's pocket.
If you've seen him yelling and spitting and really mad, he's really that mad at that time. You know how he's going to come at you. He's coming at you with his face. His chin is going to be out. The top lip be quivering. Cordell! Cordell!
Cordell! Cordell!
I know you hear me! Cordell!
Hey, Cordell! Let's play! I know you can hear me!
Let's go!
Let's go! Let's go!
Just go! Just go rush!
Let's rush! Rush!
That's what I'm talking about. And he's going, and the spit is flying, and it was kind of one of those things that you wish you had that windshield wiper. You can just kind of.
You got the same amount when he was happy and mad. He hits you and you go you're like, okay, no, that's a little too much, your coach. I think that one got in my mouth. A little nasty right now.
That chin, that scowl, that spit coming out of his mouth, his accent, all those things are Pittsburgh through and through.
He lived it. I mean, he grew up in Pittsburgh, so he knows everything about the connection the city had with the team. The teams in the 70s, I mean, that's all they were, hard-nosed. Hit you in the mouth, physical style of play.
Just reestablishing that mentality of the steel mill Pittsburgh Steelers. In your grill, up in your face, and taking no from anybody. And this is not going to be an easy 4 quarters. This is going to be a physical 4 quarters where we're beating you down at the end of the day.
When your coach reflects the mindset and the persona of the city and the team, you all just, as players, kind of fall into that mold as well. That same mentality, that same toughness, that same blue-collar work ethic.
During Cowher's 15 years in Pittsburgh, the Steelers won more games than any team in football. He is the only head coach in NFL history, other than Hall of Famer Paul Brown, to lead his team to the playoffs in each of his first 6 seasons. He guided the Steelers to the postseason 10 times in all, and ultimately to a Lombardi trophy. At the age of 49, with a championship-caliber team in place, he walked away from the game.
But I got one here in New York because I got some connections.
He has been out of coaching for more than a decade, yet his raw emotion is still evident today.
Buffalo!
Yeah.
Buffalo!
Jump!
Cowher may now be known as much as an analyst, as a former coach.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, they ought to come out right now, and I would have fire in my eyes.
Over the years, however, he was defined by much different roles. Husband and father.
I love football, but my football life has been as much about family as it's been about football. They've been a big part of being there for me to give me that stability, the balance that I think I've needed to have that sustained energy and passion that I had for 15 years.
Cowher's head coaching career was a journey shared by his wife, Kay, and 3 daughters.
I think that we all know that these wins and losses are very important for Dad. Yeah. So we're more than just a fan.
Look at Dad, Mix. Uh-oh. Go!
What the Cowhers had was rare for a coaching family.
We have a picture.
The girls were raised in the same house, watching their dad at the same job, with the same team, in the same town.
Growing up, all of us very much felt in it together with him. We also were very invested into what happened on Sundays, but then knew that we had 24 hours to celebrate a win or be sad about a loss, and that was it. And then it was, Monday, and we were in school, and he was our dad, and that's where it ended.
Lindsay, have you been to a football game?
Once.
Did you like it?
No.
I definitely think because we were in the same place for so long that people knew us as the Cowhers, not, Bill Cowher's daughters.
I think it was a conscious effort to keep normality. And I think consequently, we became a very close family. We had created a little bubble around us.
We were always kind of like a tribal family, like the 5 of us. Because there is so much that is unique about growing up in the spotlight like that. And so I think that bonded us in a really, really wonderful way.
It's our ball! You didn't know that, did you?
Over the years, the Cowhers shared all the emotions of a coaching family.
Did Joey Porter just kiss him on the mouth? Yes, he did.
He kissed him! Why did Dad give him? He kissed him!
Together, they celebrated the triumphs and suffered the disappointments. Beyond football, they would share life's greatest joys and most painful heartaches.
You caught like 50-some passes.
I said, Tom, I'm telling you, I'm open. He goes, there's 3 guys on you. I go, I'm more open than Davis is.
Bill Cowher may no longer live in Pittsburgh, but he's never forgotten where he's from.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Blacks under. Hey, look.
Yeah. See?
Really? All right.
Bill, that can't be you. That's him. That's Bill. He had an afro. Yeah.
I haven't changed. I'm the same kid from Pittsburgh. They always say you can be taken out of Pittsburgh, but the Pittsburgh will never be taken out of you. I grew up in Crafton, which is probably about 4 miles from Heinz Field.
Shortly after Cowher won Super Bowl 40, the mayor of Crafton asked him if the town could rename a street or other landmark in his honor.
There was also an alley behind our house, and I asked him if we could just name it my alley, because that alley was where I'd catch footballs, I caught baseballs with my father. That to me was more representative of who I was the guy in the back of the alley who was practicing and doing some of the dirty things that you need to do to become better. I've always attributed 3 things to my father. He told me very early in life. 1 was never quit. Number 2 was work harder than the other guy. And number 3 was never be intimidated by anyone or anything. And he created a very competitive atmosphere that we lived in.
As a senior linebacker at North Carolina State, Cowher was the team's most valuable player. Yet he went undrafted in 1979 and worked to make the Eagles as a free agent.
I try not to let myself think of being drafted. You know, I wanted to go in. If I didn't get drafted, I don't want it to be a letdown. All I wanted was a shot, and I got that now, and it's up to me now.
Cowher was a training camp cut in Philadelphia. The next year, he made the Browns roster as a special teamer and backup linebacker.
I think my important thing for me to go out there and do now is just play good, solid, fundamental football and be consistent. And I think that I'm capable of doing that, and I'm just looking forward to giving it my best shot.
He spent 3 seasons in Cleveland, where he caught the eye of defensive coordinator Marty Schottenheimer.
I'll never forget, I had hurt my hand on a Saturday, and I was back out there on Sunday with a rubber cast on. And he goes, you know what, Cowher, you're one tough guy and you're pretty smart. He goes, if I ever become a head coach, I'm gonna hire you as a coach. I go, okay.
In 1983, Cowher was traded to Philadelphia.
And the Eagles take it into the end zone.
Let's watch Bill Cowher, how he blocks it. Here he is right here. Andy Haddon steps inside, then back out. Cowher runs right by him, right in the face of Haji Sheikh.
Cowher spent 2 seasons with the Eagles.
There goes Cowher right by him. Now he's past.
He then got a call from Schottenheimer, who had been named head coach of the Browns.
I'll never forget, Marty says, I would like for you to come here to be a special teams coach. And he said, what are you going to make next year? I said, well, I'm going to make like $125,000. He goes, well, I can offer you a job where you're going to work 3 times as much and make 3 times less. And I said, okay, let me think about that. And I called him back about 5 minutes later and said, deal, I'll take that. Because you know what? I knew there was more of a future and as a coach than there was in playing.
In his new role, it was at times hard to tell the 28-year-old coach from the players.
Bill Cowher, I mean, he was crazy. I got in trouble with the National Football League all the time because he's running down the sideline on the kickoff. And he ran into official 3 or 4 different times. And they told me, said, Coach, if you don't get him out of here, we're going to fine you.
Cowher eventually became the Browns' defensive backs coach. In 1989, he followed Schottenheimer to Kansas City to become defensive coordinator.
If I'm an outside linebacker and make...
To prepare for the job and learn more about coaching linebackers, Cowher met with a young Giants assistant.
Toss out is strong. We got the fullback trap.
There was a point in time there when Bill, who was primarily a secondary coach, coached linebackers for Marty, and I had primarily coached linebackers. Then I moved from linebackers to defensive backs.
I said, why don't we get together and I'll talk to you in the morning about defensive back play, and you talk to me in the afternoon about linebacker play.
We met at Giants Stadium on a Saturday in the spring and just spent, must have been 12 hours. And so that was kind of the start of a really a great relationship.
For 2 years, 89 and 90, we were both coordinators, and we shared like information and back and forth a little bit. Not often, but periodically, and we got to know each other.
As a Ted linebacker,
while Cowher's talks with Bill Belichick helped, the coach who influenced him the most over the years was Schottenheimer.
Listen, I am a reflection of Marty Schottenheimer. There's no question about that. He meant so much to me, and I learned so much from him. His concept of preparation, of leaving no stone unturned.
Hey, wait, let's think about this, Billy.
He would look through every possible scenario to make sure that you have everything covered.
Bill Cowher, make sure you identify the plays that are being run.
I think Bill got the best of both worlds. He got his fire and energy and Marty's preparation, and when the two came together, you saw the results. You just could sense that here's a guy that people would follow, and you knew it was just a matter of time before some organization was going to take advantage of that.
There are 27 teams in pro football, and then there are the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Head coach Chuck Noll helped set the Steelers apart by winning 4 Super Bowls in the 70s. After 23 years in Pittsburgh,
Chuck, thanks a lot. Thanks.
The legendary coach stepped down following the 1991 season.
It is my pleasure to introduce Coach Bill Cowher.
Going back there, that was almost like a dream come true. I was like, boy, if I don't screw this up in 3 years and go back to my 20th high school class reunion at Carlington High School as a head coach of my hometown team, that'd be pretty cool. I said, if I could just make 3 years, that was my initial goal.
I've always wanted to be a head coach.
After starting the job, the kid from Carlinton High School wasn't sure if he would make it through the first few weeks.
You're just trying to get your foot in on all the things that you've never done before in terms of free agency, in terms of the draft, in terms of media commitments, in terms of off-season programs. And I'll just never forget, I went back one night, I said, you know what, Kay, I'm in over my head. I said, I don't know if I can do this. And it was just like, take a deep breath, one interview at a time, it'll get done. Don't get overwhelmed by it.
I mean, every day was a challenge for Bill. Every day you're watching him going, what's he going to do? You know, how's he going to handle this? That's the greatest man I ever knew was Chuck Noll, so to have to fill those shoes, I thought it was going to be a daunting task for him. We didn't start to buy in until that first game in Houston. And he told us all week, because we're going to run a fake punt. Now, a lot of coaches will say that, but then it never happens.
Royals to kick.
That right there sold us. He won us over right then. He said one thing, but he lived up to it.
That man right there, 35 years of age, he's very brazen. He's showing a lot of courage here. You got to like Bill Cowher if you're a Pittsburgh fan.
The fake punt erased a 14-0 deficit and sparked an upset win.
And the Gatorade shout? One game? Are you kidding me?
Oh, well, you have to. It's his first game as a head coach, one that he will always remember.
Bill brought a different swagger, a different energy, a youthfulness.
Let's go! Put these guys away. Let's tee off, man.
After missing the playoffs 6 of the last 7 seasons under Noll, the Steelers were division champions in their first year under Cowher. The 35-year-old was named NFL Coach of the Year. Over the next few seasons, Cowher continued to win with a blue-collar game plan.
Hey, Barry! Barry! Hey, Barry! Let's pour it! Let's go!
Power running from Barry Foster, and relentless pressure from his defense.
You get where you feel like you can rush the quarterback. You understand? Yeah. Rush the quarterback.
In the mid-90s, Cowher's brand of football was a hit in his hometown. One fan in particular was just getting old enough to voice an opinion on her father's work.
Megan, I think she's just like Mom. I think maybe she's been around me a little too much. Hurry up!
Time! Oh. When he loses, do you ever give him any advice?
Sometimes I do, but
I was a little insufferable. I was definitely that kid who I was like head coach, like junior, like assistant.
there's nobody on him. We have to look.
Talking about the best coach in the stadium, Megan. The best coach in this stadium. Megan. She's got all the right calls right after the fact.
Yeah, but it could have been like a touchdown.
In 1994, Megan watched her dad take the Steelers to the AFC Championship in just his 3rd season.
Now it's 4th down and goal. It all rides on one play. He's back. He looks. He fires. It is broken up in the end zone, and the Steelers turn the ball over on downs. Pittsburgh is in shock.
And when we lose the game and trying to console everybody, console our players, console our coaches, I say, I'm sorry to Mr. Rooney. I come into my office afterwards and Megan goes, can I ask you a question? And I said, sure, anything. And she goes, why didn't you give the ball to Barry Foster? He could have gone 3 yards.
The next year, the Cowhers went back to the AFC Championship. And again, the game came down to one final play.
Here we go for the right to go to the Super Bowl. Harbaugh, 5 seconds left is back. He has time and he launches a rainbow. And in the end zone, oh my God! The Steelers are headed to Phoenix. Way to go, Bill. Way to go, Bill. Good game, Billy.
In the family of the Cowher box, no one feels it more deeply than those fans.
At 38, Cowher became the youngest head coach to lead his team to a Super Bowl. With the Steelers trailing in the fourth quarter, Cowher stayed true to form and stayed aggressive.
Want to go surprise onside? What do you think, Chan? Surprise onside? Hey, let's do it. Surprise onside. Hey, Dick, I'm going onside here. Not leaving anything in the bag.
The Steelers try an outside kick, and they got it! And a man running with the football at the 50, and is out of bounds on the far sideline.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
The bold call got Pittsburgh back in the game. But another stellar season ended with a painful defeat.
4:09 remaining. Here comes an outside blitz. The pass is picked off, and open field. He's to the 10, and he's knocked out of bounds at the Steelers' 6-yard line. Looked like they were in position to win the football game, and it got away.
I worship my dad, and all I wanted was for him to get that win. I knew that's what would make him happy, what our whole family kind of wanted. And so I remember just going down onto the field and waiting for you to come off.
Good job, Bill!
And I know that Mom grabbed you and gave you a kiss.
Sorry. We'll see in the locker room, okay?
And I know that you came over and said to me,
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
And I remember just pulling you in close and saying, Dad, win or lose, you'll always be my hero. Dad, win or lose, you'll always be my hero.
Dad, win or lose, you'll always be my hero.
For a 9-year-old to say, win or lose, Dad, you'll still be my hero. I'm like, wow. It really was, it really, to me, capsulized what our family was about. The very deepest, worst loss that you can experience, but all of a sudden, boom, there's your family. That was my strength. It was the family that gets you through those tough times.
Ben, are you gonna help Graham's grill?
What's Graham's doing over here?
Over the years, Bill Cowher's family has grown to include more than his girls. One son-in-law, Kevin Westgarth, is a former NHL player who won a Stanley Cup with the Los Angeles Kings. Another, Ryan Kelly, is a professional basketball player who won a national championship at Duke.
Terrific job by Ryan Kelly.
And went on to the NBA. Sports run deep in the Cowher family. When Bill met Kay at North Carolina State, she was a star basketball player. She later played professionally. All 3 Cowher girls were high school standouts on the court and went on to play in college.
I spent so many winters in gyms and AAU trips that I took with them, and I loved it. I never wanted to miss their games. I didn't miss many games with theirs when they were in high school.
I know he'll rearrange meetings and everything just to make it to our high school games. Like, I don't think he maybe missed 1 high school game. And, I mean, that says a lot because I'm playing, and it's during the season, too.
I think when he came home or when he came to our games, he felt like a dad. And he was able to sort of, you know, take off the coach's clothes, kind of pack up the jaw, put it on the shelf. To be able to watch your growing daughters compete and kind of be able to impart on them some of the perspective that he was giving to his players, it's like this interesting parallel track. My dad's big phrase is you can't get too high with the highs and you can't get too low with the lows.
One of his things is like never get too high, never get too low, and don't be like a roller coaster. I think he would read us just like your kids. So when he saw something wrong in our faces, or he saw maybe an attitude we had, or the way we were walking on the sideline, he would come to us one way or the other, either pick us up or to get us going.
We can't control it now. I mean, don't worry about it. The worst thing you can do is start thinking about it now. It's a natural thing, and you can't control what just took place. You cannot go back in time. You can't twitch your nose and say, okay, it's going back. Just forget about it now. Let's go. A lot of football.
He was like a psychologist in terms of understanding who he needed to push, who he needed to put his arm around.
This is your city.
Oh, man, no doubt.
You know what? You're my guy.
Who he needed to get in their face.
Still wrong! That's dumb!
He was honest.
That's dumb!
You know, he told you where you stood.
You don't have to do that!
That's all you ever wanted from a coach is to be honest with me. Tell me I'm on the bubble. Tell me I need to pick it up.
He got on me a lot. You know, I was the young guy coming in. He was the veteran coach. Since he retired, we've talked, and he basically has told me, Ben, there were two ways I could have handled you. I could have babied you and coddled you, or I could have been tough on you. And I decided to go the tough route.
Hey, we still got to play a lot better than we did today. There's no doubt. And so let's keep everything in perspective.
Rookie, second-year player, older guy. The standard that he held you to was the standard. You have to earn everything that you got with him.
Under Cowher's leadership, the Steelers were a perennial playoff team, and the coach's win total continued to add up.
Congratulations on number 50.
Thanks, man.
That's sweet.
Thanks.
That's sweet. That's awesome. Wish you 50 more.
Yeah.
This is quick.
You know what, though? I'd give it all up. I want that ring, man.
Despite all his success, Cowher's pursuit of a title continued to fall short. In 1997, the Steelers lost the AFC Championship game at home for the second time in 4 years. In 2001 and 2004, Cowher suffered 2 more home championship losses, both to his old friend, Bill Belichick. After 13 years on the job, the coach from a family of competitors still hadn't captured the win he wanted most.
I think it's when I just start thinking, you know, maybe that's just where my career is. That's just what it's going to be. And I'm okay with that. You know, I've given everything I can. I've tried it all. I've given you my heart and soul and everything. I've thrown everything into it. And just maybe it's just not meant to be. Baldhead Island, it's a pretty remote place. We came down here right after my rookie year in 1992. We've been coming back here every year since, and these guys grew up here. I mean, they came down here every training camp with Kay. The simplicity of life down here was really a great balancer and a great battery charging time for me before every season.
The North Carolina island provided Bill Cowher with normalcy, something that was increasingly difficult to find in the public life of Pittsburgh.
You felt like you're starting to walk around with your head down. You're starting to walk around not making eye contact because then people would maybe want a picture or want an autograph. And then the girls, they wanted just to have some normalcy themselves.
And I remember we had to pick up something at the mall. And I think this day you had an open afternoon, or like you didn't have plans. And so you were like, I'll go with you.
All of us kind of looked at each other and we're like, you know, I think we should have Mom take us. You know, we just wanted to make it a quick trip. And I think that was really kind of sad moment for him. I think it was this moment where
I feel bad.
Kind of, yeah, me too. But you know, I think it was this moment where he kind of took a step back and realized, you know, I don't want coaching to kind of control my life.
That one day, I'll never forget that. That resonated pretty strongly with me.
In 2005, Cowher entered his 14th season in Pittsburgh. After a promising start, a 3-game losing streak dropped the Steelers to 7-5.
You know, everyone starts looking in the mirror. Here we go again. You know, we're the team that just can't get over the hump. And just remember that next day doing some things unconventional, things I'd never done before.
You know, usually in the big meeting room, it's the whole 16 games on the wall, and we mark them down, wins and losses as we go.
We came in and Coach it wiped the whole thing clean, and it just had one team, and that was it. And it was just like, okay.
Our goals and our dreams, if we want to reach them, have to start right now, and we can't lose another game.
It was on the board, and every player, to a man, understood what it meant. And it changed our entire season.
The bus drives, and the bus gets to the goal line. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Pittsburgh!
The Steelers won 4 straight to finish the regular season 11-5 and secure the final playoff spot in the AFC. No 6th seed had ever won 3 road playoff games and then won a Super Bowl. But during an unprecedented postseason run,
He's going to throw it back to Ben.
Cowher's team seemed destined to make history.
And we've got a Pittsburgh Steelers touchdown. He's not missed a field goal at home in the playoffs in 6 tries. It's no good. He missed it. It's no good.
The coach who had suffered 4 AFC title losses at home won in his first championship game on the road.
Bangs in for the touchdown, and there's the coup de grace.
Bill Cowher was 1 win away from the title he sought.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of doubters out there about this football team. They don't think that you can do it and that you can sustain it. You go out there and you hit them right in the mouth.
And they hand it to Willie Parker. Finds a lane. He's on his way. Look out. Foot race, 45-50. Willie Parker, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Willie, touchdown. Let's go. They pitch it to the left, and now here's the handoff on the reverse to Antoine Randall. He's going to throw it down the field. There's a man open. Touchdown, Pittsburgh! Heinz Ward!
For years, the Cowher family had shared heartache in the biggest games. Finally, their moment had come.
I just remember on the sideline when the clock was ticking down, just all I wanted to do, and all of us wanted to do, was just find you and to be able to just give you a hug and to be able to look in your eyes and be like, it happened. Like, this actually finally happened.
They had been through so many losses, and they were always there every step of the way. It was about all of us. We're the ones that have been through this journey together. And as much as I love my boys, and I spent so much time with them, it was my girls that I had in my life that really were the backbone of who I was.
My girl! On the count of 3, let's give a big high five. Everybody in the middle. 1, 2, 3.
It was nice we won then because all of us were old enough to truly appreciate and understand how big of a deal it was. And I think all of us, it still feels, I get chills even thinking about it. What we've waited for so long was finally happening.
I just can't believe it's happening.
No, it's surreal. I don't think it is.
It's a surreal feeling.
I'm waiting to wake up right now.
You know, I think we watched him have so much success over the years, but we always knew there was kind of like one big thing missing from his resume.
It was just this moment of finally for you getting, not the validation, but just finally getting to that moment that I know you'd wanted to get to.
Validation is the
That's
right
right?
word.
Okay. So it was validation.
There was validation. It's a journey that no one else has taken. No one has ever won their first Super Bowl 14 years in. And to bring that back to the city of Pittsburgh that many years later, a place where I grew up, you know, it was pretty surreal.
One night after his triumph on football's biggest stage, Bill Cowher was back in a high school gym, cheering on his daughters.
And we won. And I think one of my favorite quotes from my dad after we won that game was, you know, yesterday's win was big, but this is huge.
In 2006, Cowher returned for his 15th season.
Don't retire yet.
Gotta get
There you
another
go.
one. Start on the
At
other
least
hand.
3 more.
Gotta start on the other hand.
The defending champions finished a disappointing 8-8. Following the season, the family man who long searched for normalcy, decided to step down.
You know, I was asked a long time ago, how have I lasted in this business so long? And there's no doubt in my mind is the balance that I've been able to live. My 3 daughters, to be a part of their life will always be my main objective in life. And to my wife, my soulmate, my friend, and the love and support that she has given me through the years, she's been my backbone. I've given a lot of thought to this decision, and it is right now the best thing for me and my family at this time. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm looking forward to it.
I got a gift from Big Ben Roethlisberger. He said I'm gonna need this during the year. The spit shield thing, I'm working like that, you know. So, because I know you get excited sometimes, so I'm ready. I'm gonna get some for the whole crew, just in
Okay,
case.
well, we'll see. I can see how it's starting off already.
You know, hey, boom.
Bill Cowher had found a new career. In the years ahead, the family life he had hoped for after coaching didn't happen as planned.
Some sad news to tell you about. Kay Cowher, the wife of ex-Steelers coach Bill Cowher and a former basketball player at North Carolina State, has died of skin cancer. She was only 54 years old.
When the diagnosis came in, it was very, very quick, unfortunately. The one blessing that there was she did not suffer. She never spent a day in a hospital. I know one of the last good weekends that she had, we brought her down here. This was such a grounded place for us that when she did pass, it really just was so simple. I said, this is the place it has to be.
And now I feel like when we come back here, it's like a place in memory and then also now physically like visit with her. I just, with both of my, but with both of my kids, like I feel like when bringing them here and we kind of go and like we'll sit by her stone is like where she like can kind of meet them, and it's like just kind of this place that we can connect with her. And it just feels appropriate that she's kind of always sitting out there kind of just keeping guard over this place and this house.
In the years following his wife's death, Cowher began spending more time in New York, close to his job at CBS, and close to someone special he had met. Eventually, he wanted to introduce his girls to the new person in his life.
I say, hey, I'm dating this girl. Her name's Veronica. I said, but like, she's also a musician. She's called Queen V. And then Megan's like, I said, what'd you do? You Googled her?
Googled her, yeah.
and
And I was like, oh my God, he's lost his mind. Like this was like my biggest fear is happening. Like, I don't know who this person is, but this does not seem like the dad that I knew. And I was like, oh God, like what am I gonna have to do? You're gonna have to step in here. Megan called us and said, you know, we gotta talk about this Queen Bee. And I was like, I think that's Beyonce. Is Dad dating Beyonce? The first time I kind of sat down with her, I just remember one of the first things she said to me is, I'll never replace your mom, and I'm never gonna try, because I know I can't. But you know, what I do wanna do is, I know how important you are to your dad, and I know how important he is to me, and you know, I wanna be there for you in any way that you'll have me.
Such a pretty morning.
oh, it's gorgeous.
The former football coach and the musician were married in 2014.
A few years ago, I started writing a lot of love songs, and I just found myself writing this story about how I felt about Bill.
Oh, then I believe
It's a song called Best of Me.
you're bringing out the best of me.
You know, someone who brings out the best in you, who is there for you and kind of a rock. Yeah. The song says it all.
You're bringing out the best of me.
We have been so lucky that I don't think there's a more perfect person that could have come into our family. We miss my mom every day and are so sad that she's not here, but we are so incredibly lucky that V and my dad found each other when they did, because I can't imagine our life without her now.
I feel just as fortunate that, you know, we've been all able to build a family together and build a relationship. I mean, it's just been the greatest blessing.
Bill Cowher has been out of coaching for more than a decade. During that time, there has been frequent speculation as to where and when he would return.
Let's get that boy a hot dog in a bun.
Okay, you don't have to squeeze it. Would I ever go back? I doubt it. But I always said, and I will still continue to say, why shut a door that you never have to shut? I don't know how I'll feel 2 or 3 years from now. I've seen other people get too much of an itch. They want to come back.
Yeah! Let's go!
I have a great passion for the game, a great respect for the game. I love it. I love everything about the game of football, National Football League.
3 receiver, seam.
I miss strategizing. I miss working with players. I miss game day. But I don't miss the lifestyle.
For years, Bill Cowher balanced the private life of a family man with the demands and public life of a head coach. The man who once felt he had to live in a bubble now is free.
These last 6, 7 years, they've been really special. I love being able to spend the time with the family.
He's so happy. Gee!
As much as it is, there's new people, there's kids, there's this whole other element to it. The same values we had growing up are there. One thing that always just remains consistent is that all of us, I think, are happiest just with each other.
Growing up with my family, it was very much a shared experience, and I think all of the ups and downs, it was just a part of my childhood and my life that helped shape a lot of who I am.
My life, it's resting on your shoulders. I'm counting on you to get me home. Home is strong, let the moment last forever. One look in my eyes.
That to me is the very core value of what you can have. The love and strength there comes when you have a close family.
Whenever I feel the love of light and higher ground, oh, then I believe you're bringing out the best.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, cheers!
I've been a very lucky man.